This is Invaders, new Invaders number 8, a series I really like. Cover with Atomic Skull here. I do wonder if they put them on so many of the covers to try and hoodwink persons into thinking that it was Ghost Driver. At the same time though, if you've got a character with a flaming skull for a head, put it on the cover. That's going to grab more people than a man in a green Speedo. A lot of backstory. This is the final story arc on the title. There's a lot going on, and there is a bunch of characters on the team. A lot of character drama and payoffs this issue. So it's not the best one to use as a sample for the series. I have nearly covered the entire thing. Check out my other videos if you want to know about all the characters or the original idea for the series, or to learn that the artist saw one of my videos. The bad guy, one of our bad guys, the main one in this story, I suppose, is Upman from SeaWorld. This series really amped him up as a deplorable piece of shit. It is great. Upman had been around for decades by this point. He was introduced in Invaders issue 3 in the 70s. But he never really got that much use because he was just another seaman among seamen. His Nazi ties didn't ultimately mean much when you get out of the war. So this series decided to expand on his character as this real scumbag. It didn't help him in the long run. Sadly, not many paid attention to this series. But I think it was a good effort to have Upman stand out more. Our main show is back on the battleship belonging to the Invaders. Captain America has shown up. He was called in by his friends, and he is there to expose the team's leader, Plastic Man, as a liar who has conned and tricked all the team in various different ways. I am not an advocate of the Exorcist movies, but is this the one that they released 2 versions of? There was one Exorcist movie that they released and it was shit, like all the Exorcist sequels. And then the next year, they released a slightly different edit of it and pretended that it was a new movie. Plastic Man, he is going to be taken in and tried for his international war crimes. But before that, there is one last mission that they need today. They have to stop Upman from melting the polar ice caps or something like that. And here's a scene where we get into John Walters, u.s.agent. U.s.agent has been dressing as Captain America and using the name, though most of his teammates won't call him it. We find out here a bunch of stuff that contextualizes that and also makes sense of the character seeming to regress into a mentality of thinking that he can be Captain America, which was something that this series inherited from another story and another writer. Plastic Man specifically targeted and manipulated John Walters into thinking that Steve Rogers had rejected taking action and carrying out supposed government-sponsored intervention. So Plastic Man convinced John Walters that he had to become Captain America again to do for his country what Steve Rogers refused to do. It's a nice little scene, nice resolution, and it is a nice explanation to something that otherwise really screwed up the character. And it's even a nice use of finding a way to have Steve Rogers best John Walters without painfully ignoring the fact that John Walters is meant to be much, much stronger than Steve Rogers is. Another thing I want to praise is the art. There is a subtle art thing I'll mention in a bit, but for now, here is a double splash page of Captain America with these invaders. If you watched me reviews of the Van Morrison Excellent Men story, Here Comes Tomorrow, I showed off that I had a giant canvas print of the double splash page from that story. When I ordered that, the website I got it from no longer does that sort of stuff, it seems. When I ordered that, this splash page here was the alternative. I could have gotten a big canvas print of this, and I really wish that I did. I should have gotten them both, or gotten even more. The Excellent Men one is high quality, and it was expensive, but price be damned. I didn't realise come 7 years' time I'd be up to my elbows in compensation from a botched surgery. I could afford 20 of the bastards now. But the website that did it doesn't have a license with Marvel anymore. Or it doesn't even exist anymore. I can't remember. I checked a year or two ago because I really did want to get this, but I couldn't. They either didn't have all the Marvel artwork anymore, or they didn't even have a website anymore. I could and should have double checked which it was before the video. But my videos didn't contain much research besides what I actually already know. And this page is coming loose at the bottom. There isn't a great page to show the art thing I want to talk about. The choice page was the scene with the two Captain Americas. But what I really appreciate is that the artist redesigned John Walters' Captain America costume in such a way that you can always know which one is him and which one is Steve Rogers. Even in a close-up, John Walters has a Batman-style cowl that covers his nose. His wings, the wings on his head, they are a flat design thing sewn into the mask. Whereas with Steve Rogers, his mask obviously never covered his nose, and the wings are little parts that come outwards. Having these 2 pages back to back hasn't been the worst way to show and compare the 2 masks. Really good art stuff. Before we finish, I mentioned Here Comes Tomorrow, and here is maybe the only piece of plastic based on that story ever. This is a great series, and I am purposely avoiding ruining certain twists and plot points because I encourage people to read these 9 issues. Skip the issue 0. It is wrapping up the lead-in story, which required so much fixing and U-turning. The very art trade of the series, which you can usually still find quite cheap. It just has the 9 main issues, and it's heavily recommended from me. Great characters, great writing, great art, great stories. All in all, totally underrated series. I rank it a 7 thumbs up.